What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to show you guys how to write a hit song, a little songwriter action. Obviously everyone has a different technique, so this is just the one that I use. It's obviously not everyone's go-to, and I write music all different types of ways. A lot of ideas just come into me when I'm driving in the car, listening to another song, or sometimes I'm literally listening to nothing and it just pops up out of nowhere. But this is a way that you can kind of get creativity and get songwriting juices flowing while you're in the studio. So I'm going to show you guys what I do, and hopefully you guys learn something and it helps. So I already laid down the chords and laid down some other things. So I'm going to explain all this. So this is just some basic chords, a kick to kind of help me get the groove going. I sidechain the chords, a drone, which sounds like this, and an atmospheric shot. So tip number one that I would say for songwriting is create the theme or the vibe that you want to start writing about. I think it's always easier to start creating some kind of vibe or some kind of emotions, elicit some kind of feeling before you come up with a hook, before you come up with anything else, because then you at least know what your hook's gonna be about. So right here, you can hear my chords and everything going on. I'll play it for you, and then I'll tell you in my mind what feelings come to me when I hear this. Okay, so I'm getting a very happy kind of summer. I'm kind of get like a explorative, adventurous type of vibe, and so those are the things that are coming to me. So when you create a vibe, try to come up with some adjectives or ways to describe those chords, the atmosphere and how it sounds. For me, I imagine myself exploring or on a hike or walking through the woods. So maybe this could be something, a song about exploring, that could be our theme. And then if we even took that with, okay, well, you're exploring with someone, right? So, see, now I'm starting to get ideas or something about the theme or the vibe that I want to write the track to. So your next step after that is to come up with a melody, and this is gonna kind of help you go with the rest of the song, and this is gonna be your main backbone to your song. So number two, come up with a melody, and this is obviously a lot easier said than done, but basically create an 8-bar loop, or a 4-bar loop, I should say, and loop it back and just see what comes to your head when you're listening to it. And I'll give you guys a chance to see what ideas come to your head now that I've explored that theme of adventurous, kind of exploring and stuff like that. Now everyone's brain is going to go in a different direction, so no one's going to write the same exact melody because no one's going to have the same exact thoughts. And I think that's really cool, so everyone can get something out of it different. So what I'm going to do next is just going to loop this, and I'm going to kind of sit with it and see what comes to my mind as far as melody. So the first melody that came up with the verses, I've got do 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 do. If I write that in a MIDI, which I will. Cool, I finally found something that I like for the verses. So basically what I did is create the melody on a piano, and then we're gonna start with that melody and we're gonna use that to write stuff. So what's cool is, since we can basically split sections into verses, builds, and then hooks, or drops, or choruses, however you wanna do it, that's kind of where the energy level is at, so that helps you kind of design the melody a little bit. So here's what I got for the verse. In here, we might change it up a little something at the end, but keep it generally the same. We might go. Or something like that, you know, something to like change it up a little bit. And obviously you can do what you want, you just come up with a cool melody, and then kind of we're going to get to a point where obviously this turns into something where we're building up. Obviously it's called the build up, so we want to be a little bit more energetic. But right now we're going to take this and we're going to try to write some lyrics to this. All right, and so here's where I would start. So we've got our vibe, that's number one. We've got our melody, that's number two. So the main part now is the lyrics. So lyrics are tough to come up with when you're just trying to like snap decision come up with them if they're not coming naturally. So what I like to do is, again, think of your theme of your track. Right now I've got, you know, adventure, exploring on my mind. I'm thinking you're with someone else, and you know, what kind of picture can you paint in your head? So listen one more time and tell me what kind of picture you paint in your head after listening to this, and really close your eyes, listen to this, think what pops in your head. For me, it's, you know, something different than what it's going to be for you or what it's going to be for someone else. And everyone that listens to it's going to have something different. So picture what it is for you, close your eyes, listen to the melody, and then tell me what imagery you see. Alright, so immediately in my head, I was thinking, I wanna be with you. So like... So going back to that adventurous part, maybe we could be like, you could like start talking about lyrics about like maybe all the things you've done, or, you know, because this is obviously going to be a positive twist. So I'm thinking like in my head, like, okay, no matter what I've seen in the world, no matter what I've done, all of the amazing things I've seen, I still want to be with you. So that's the theme I get, because it's a happy theme and I'm trying to revolve around that. I'm not going to be very sad and be like, I'm depressed if I'm not with you or something like that, just because it doesn't fit the vibe, right? So right now we have a happy vibe, so I'm thinking like, I wanna be with you. So I like that better, actually. It's my thinking brain. So I already kind of got an idea to the song, right? We don't have the rest of the lyrics, but we've got that, I wanna be with you. Okay, so there we go. And you kind of can work with it. It's really cool because once you kind of got that central theme idea, you can kind of work with it to keep finding what works. So you can hum the melody and kind of sing the part over and over again until you've got something that you like, and you can add on to it every time, which is cool. And if you don't get anything in that session, that's okay, because you've got the main line of like, I wanna be with you, or whatever you came up with, and you can record that and keep that note somewhere, and then you might be thinking, you already have the melody in your head, so you might be driving in the car, or you might be, you know, in public, or whatever, you might be listening to another song and you come up with that idea for the rest of the words. Let's see. And you can mess around, because once you got all these elements, you can kind of like experiment around and see what happens, and see, you know, what you like in this part and what you don't, because you can just, honestly, you could do just the chords and just the lead, or you could do something like the drone. And you just kind of find what inspires you and what helps you write. But honestly, once you come up with that overall theme to the song, it's a lot easier to start writing lyrics, as you can probably tell. And then once you come up with a melody, it really starts beginning to fall into place. Okay, so I got something. I hate it. I absolutely hate it, because it's just so cheesy, and I don't write cheesy lyrics ever. But here's what I got. and it's still a hook. It's still pretty good. And I did this in about probably 20 minutes. Here, I'll sing you what we've got so you can kind of get an idea. Based off the melody that you previously heard. Oh, when you're gone and I'm alone, I can feel it. I wanna be with you. And if you fall, I'll pick you up. I will be there. I wanna be with you. When the sun goes down and it comes back up, oh, I will be waiting here for you. Oh, when you're gone and I'm all alone, I feel it. I wanna be with you. So obviously not great. But it is a hook, and we've got that I want to be with you. And if I were to do it again, I would probably change out some of the other words to make it a little less cheesy. But that's kind of how I write songs. A lot of times it just comes to me as well. But if you create some kind of bed for the lyrics or the ideas to sit in, I always find it a lot easier. So hopefully you learned something through this video and mind my dry, terrible singing. But besides that, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you learned anything new in this video. And if you guys want to learn more about how I songwrite, I'll be sure to do some of those future sessions, and let us know in the comments below which you would like to see next. And thank you.